The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance. Their attentions are fixed on whatever it is they're stacking in the middle of the floor. Matchboxes, it appears.
I think it's holding bullets.
It is.
It's definitely not holding. Those matchboxes are stacked so haphazardly, it's like they want them to collapse.
Careful, careful. Damn, hardly any difference. You two, you are late.
They should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
His eyes are tracing an invisible line back and forth from your jacket to his companion.
Hey, Esteban, isn't that your jacket?
What a coincidence. You two have the same jacket. What are the odds? Based on the prevalence of white Sarah-Mauritian suits in Martinaise, extremely low.
It certainly looks like my jacket, Ulexus. Where did you get that, gendarme? Unlikely. That's real Sarah-Mauritian twill. Only old Sarah-Mauritian communists and drug smugglers wear those anymore.
He is neither of those, of course. He is simply a poor student putting on airs. Also, he doesn't have the shoulders to fill out such a jacket.
See, Uli? It's just like Mazov wrote. How does it go, gang?
Those committed to the rights of property are those most apt to violate them.
I assumed it was Maurice who broke into my room to play a trick on me. RCM.
There is surprise in his voice, naturally. But is that a note of excitement you also detect?
Oh, gendarme, because this is perfect. Can you imagine the look on Morris's face when he finds out the RCM has been kicking my door down?
He'll shit himself, positively.
And now they've shown up in force to break up our meeting.
Something tells me these young men are not very experienced with law enforcement.
The RCM wants to join us?
My partner, of course, is acting in a strictly personal capacity, not as an official representative of the RCM.
Interesting. Does that mean you've done the reading?
Uh-oh. No one said anything about reading. You'll just have to wing this one.
No, detective. The only reading I've been doing is right here.
He seems to be wagging the notebook at you, as though he suspects you may have forgotten why you're here.
I have not had time to seek out pretentious communist book clubs, nor have I done their reading.
It doesn't sound like they've done the reading, Esteban.
Well, this is getting awkward. I'm not sure what you're expecting to find here then.
There's profound consternation in his voice. You suspect it's about something bigger than your not having done the reading.
Maybe they can explain themselves.
Nobody's watching anyway, I don't give a fuck. I want to go back and wing it.
The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance. Matchboxes,
I think it's whole.
It is.
it's definitely...
Careful, careful. Damn. You two.
They should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
His eyes.
Esteban,
What a based on.
It certainly looks like my jacket, Ulixus. Where did you get that, gendarme? Yeah, I'm sure you did. That's real Sarah Maritzian twill.
He is neither of those, of course.
See, Uli?
so is committed to.
I assumed it was...
There is surprise in his voice, naturally. But is that a note of excitement you also detect?
You're right. It was a gift from my grandmother. Can you imagine the look on Morris's face when he finds out the RCM has been kicking my door down?
He'll shit himself.
And now they've shown up in force to bring... The RCM wants to join?
My partner, of course.
Interesting.
Uh-oh. No.
You have? Excellent. Let's hear your critique then. Characters? What characters are you talking about?
It doesn't sound like they've done the reading, Esteban.
Well, this is getting awkward. I'm not sure what you're expecting to find here then.
There's profound consternation in his voice. You suspect it's about something bigger than your not having done the reading.
Maybe they can explain themselves.
In a most generous sense, I would say we're cultivating revolutionary consciousness.
Yes, that's probably the best way to describe it.
But more specifically, we are running a reading group. The most rigorous and theoretically advanced materialist reading group in Martinez.
Comrade Esteban is a great discussion leader. One of the best at the university.
It's obvious they take this group of theirs extremely seriously. Whatever you do, don't compare it to a common book club. Yawn. Can you imagine anything duller than a bunch of binoclards yanking each other's knobs?
It's really nothing like that. A book club is a place for talking about the plot points of bourgeois social novels and sipping effervescent cocktails.
That doesn't sound so bad. In any case, it's healthier than certain other after-hours pursuits I've seen officers engage in.
We study all the foundational texts of Mazovian theory, of course. Just last week we finished the second volume of Puncher and Watman's Innocence of Capital.
Truly extraordinary.
And before that we spent 6 weeks on State and Plasm.
For some reason, the word plasm catches in your ear like uh-oh. You can feel your attention span rapidly deteriorating. Your attention detaches. The voices of the young men fade away. It's a cool evening, you notice. Out beyond the dull chatter, you catch the sound of a distant seabird, and of course, the sound of the large stretches of canvas that cover the missing sections of wall. The way they billow in the night breeze reminds you of something. The thought is almost too much to bear. What you wouldn't give to glimpse the bare legs behind it. The more it hurts, the more you have to have it. Slowly, too slowly, the pain fades from your side. You turn your attention to the two young men, who appear just about finished.
And before that, there was Abelard's Impé Infernal.
But, of course, our special emphasis is on the theories of Ignace Nilsson and his followers.
One of Krasmazov's closest associates, Ingus Nilsson, was a leading political and military figure in the anti-centennial revolution. Why do you always leave out the good parts? Tell him how he got his true name right now. Oh, right. During the disastrous retreat from Grad to Samara, Nilsson personally ordered up to 12,000 prisoners of war impaled on sharpened spruce trees in the Samaran backcountry. Thereafter, his opponents began referring to him as the apocalyptic Shrike. Today, Nielsen's reputation as the exception of the People's Republic of Samara, SRV, where he is recognized of Mazovianism.
This gendarme talks just like a moralist. They love getting on their high horses about so-called war crimes.
I hope this doesn't, like, impede my progress.
The young man grimaces. It seems he's less than 100% comfortable with war crimes.
He also happens to be the greatest communist theorist after Mazov himself. It was Nielsen who first postulated the existence of ideological plasm, which forms the basis of inframaterialist theory.
Those words again. You've got to find out what this inframaterialist stuff is all about. Whatever it is, one thing's perfectly clear. These young students have a much deeper understanding of communism than you do. You could learn a thing or two from them. The young man sighs. His companion looks about furtively. The young man frowns at the little pile of boxes on the floor.
Nothing, just messing around until the meeting started.
They're watching those matchboxes awfully intently for two guys who are just messing around. It's almost as though they were trying to create the most unstable structure with predictable results.
Clinching? No.
We think of ourselves as more of an intellectual vanguard.
No, we're an independent organization. We acknowledge and respect the Union's efforts, but our interests are more theoretical than Mr. Clare's.
He speaks the truth.
To be clear, communism is not an official suspect in this investigation, because it's not a person, you see.
Seems unlikely from a strictly inframaterialist perspective.
Wondering if I had listened to them, if maybe it would have opened up the suicide of Christ and that's all. I just thought it would be funny to, like, listen to them.
Comrade Ulix is right. The amount of plasm required to strike down an ideological enemy outright is enormous. We're talking second-level effects, at a minimum.
Or even third.
What are these levels they're talking about? This doesn't sound like any communism you've encountered before.
In any case, it's not like the SRV has established a party line on the subject of lynchings in Martinez.
Though historically speaking, the SRV has supported direct action against right-wing paramilitary squads, especially when they are doing the Indo-Tribe's dirty work.
Good point. So as a provisional matter, I can say we support it.
Are they being sarcastic? You feel like you're caught in some elaborate joke labyrinth, but it's impossible to see your way through. It's always that way. Beneath the crust of irony, there's a molten sincerity that threatens to erupt forth. You may witness it yet.
That's easy. Crime is simply the inevitable expression of the injustice and incoherence embedded within capitalism itself.
Delivered with the smug assurance of a schoolboy reciting a maxim he's committed to memory.
It's a symptom, in other words, not a cause.
His companion can barely suppress a yawn.
No, unfortunately, The communards were hunted down and killed nearly to a man. All that's left of them are bones and old rifles.
His companion's eyes widen as you hold up the ancient weapon. He's practically itching to stick that thing in someone's face and pull the trigger.
Yes, like that one. I wonder how many of these are still lying around in cellars or sealed up behind the masonry. Can I hold it?
A priest bearing one of the holy relics of his faith. Though it is long out of service, its power is evident to him. When he's finished, he returns the rifle to you with a nod.
What do you mean? This is the reading group. We're in something of a rebuilding phase.
Some of our former comrades didn't have the ideological fortitude our work demands.
Intellectual attrition is maybe the best way to describe it. Felix said he couldn't keep up with the reading on top of his classwork. And Susanna wanted to read text other than Mazovian theory. Like novels, if you can believe it.
Imagine the audacity of wanting to read a novel in a reading group.
See? Even the gendarme gets it.
We've tried recruiting new members, but unfortunately the current intellectual climate is pretty hostile to inframaterialist thought. These days, if you're on the left, the ascendant schools are the Godwaldians and their iconoclasts.
Don't forget about Maurice and the turnips.
Right. Then there was the whole turnip debacle. They're the most depressing school of communism. They love writing long books with a patina of Mazovian theory to cover up their cheap psychologizing.
A gang of cheap psychologists and intellectual midgets.
It's okay for Uli to say that, because his dad is from Gottwald. The Gottwald school believe that intellectuals as a class are incapable of sparking revolutionary change. So all they can do is critique capitalism from inside itself.
In other words, they have lost faith in their own relevance.
That's why they spend all their time smoking cigarettes and writing long works of criticism that make you want to commit suicide. It is miserable. That's probably why they're always committing suicide. You see, the Gottwald school look like communists. They talk like communists. But scratch the patina and you'll see beneath that they're just depressed liberals who've read too many books. They're the most... It's okay for Uli to say that. Do you think all the problems in the world can be reduced to repressed sexual urges?
No, of course not. That's reductive in the extreme. 1000% yes.
I can tell you're a man who has his urges, but I can also tell you're no Gottwaldian. You see, the Gottwald school look like communists. They talk like communists. For starters, they love talking about beans.
What's wrong with beans? Yo.
Oh, sure. But iconoclasts are obsessed with beans. They love thinking about beans. They love counting beans. But most of all, they love building models to predict how many beans there'll be in the future.
Nota bene, iconoclast is an extra pejorative form of the already pejorative name Mazovian economists, a moderate school of Mazovianism which advocates the gradual transition to communism through carefully managed economic modernization rather than violent social revolution.
They're by far the most bean-centric school of communism.
Yo, that's why I love this game. Robert Kurvish has a fascination with, like, giving emphasis to inanimate objects and to animals. And I I'd fucking jive with that.
Ah yes, the much maligned bean counters, ensconced in their think tanks and high-rises, believing they can save the world through a series of incremental, assiduously technocratic reforms.
If only. They've got all the beans accounted for in their asset sheets, their quarterly budgets, their future projections. But for some reason, there are never enough beans to go around. So we've just got to cut our bean rations in half.
And next thing you know, there are budget cuts, so now we've got to cut the bean rations in half again. You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists, but in reality they're just liberals with hard-ons for spreadsheets. Of course not. The only people who actually call themselves liberals are mouth-foaming reactionaries.
Basically indistinguishable from fascists. You'd need an X-ray machine to tell the difference.
Cindy is...
Something of an ideological auxiliary, perhaps.
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. And naturally, we support her radical counter-liberal aesthetics.
But she refuses to submit an essay, so we can't call her a member of the group per se.
That doesn't stop her from using a room for studio space, of course. It's an unfortunate story. You see, our ex-comrade Maurice is something of an economist.
He's studying macro and microeconomics.
Wow, a real intellectual, it sounds like.
Right. So a few weeks ago we were discussing the extra physical capabilities of the revolutionary state. And Maurice said... What were his exact words, Ulex's?
It was unbelievable. He said, turnips don't care if they are grown by communists, moralists, or Vulcan. They grow just the same.
Basically, he was rejecting the whole foundation of inframaterialist theory.
What is this inframaterialist business they keep blathering about? You've never heard of anything like it.
Simply that under suitably revolutionary conditions, crop yields naturally increase relative to non-revolutionary crops, which Morris somehow has the gall to deny.
Susanna said that he has been hanging out with some non-communists lately.
For us, the question boiled down to, if you don't even accept the basic ideas of Nielsen and inframaterialist theory, why are you in the reading group? Well, it wasn't so much that he was expelled.
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
Wow.
Right.
It was unbelievable.
Basically,
What is this inframaterialist business?
Susanna said,
for us, the question boiled down to, if you don't exactly, what educated person could believe that turnips grow at the same rate under capitalism and communism?
it's a sad reflection on our educational institutions.
Well,
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
go ahead. We typically only accept new members once per semester. There's this whole process with essays and presentations on assigned topics. But given that we have some extra seating at the moment, I guess we could be convinced to expedite an application or two.
There's no way that Kim's not gonna join. There is no way. I knew people wouldn't give a fuck about this game unless I tagged like Fortnite and shit. I hate the way the world is. The world sucks, man. Cindy's right. The world fucking sucks. I didn't want to tag like Fortnite and Minecraft. I didn't want lame ass people in here. I wanted people who actually, like, I wanted to tag the actual real things. So I wanted people who actually like this game. But, yeah. Then it gets you nothing.
Esteban, you can't be serious. For these gendarmes?
I am serious. As materialists, we've got to adapt to conditions as they are. Besides, he'll still need to pass the interview portion of the entrance process. Assuming he's even still interested, that is.
What? Whoa. I don't even voracious. Giggly. Feel like. Torn. How? I don't even know what that is.
Sure, we're here most every night. Maybe we'll catch you again.
Sleep well, gendarme.
The gendarme returns. What do you need?
Oh, fuck. I never wore my damn tie. Because I was hoping it would let me pass. Oh, man. I totally missed what he was going to say. Nobody's watching anyway, so I'm gonna re-fucking play it. I don't care, dude. I'm just gonna sim through the conversation. Nobody's even watching. So who fucking cares? Dude, our encyclopedia is so right, this guy smoked a cigarette. He gets smarter. Right. From nothing I have in my hands doesn't mean anything. Even the boombox, they never mention. Mention the fucking sword. Alright, I'll try this. I was trying to up my drama, but it doesn't do anything. Maybe we should put a different shirt on. We couldn't pass the drama checks anymore. Do it like this. Yeah, I only go with guys.
The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance. The matchboxes, it appears.
This is why I felt like I could never play this game on stream, because I always go back and try different things, but nobody's watching anyway, so I can just do whatever I want.
I think it's holy, Alexis.
It is.
It's definitely.
Careful, careful.
Maybe I won't look around the room. I'll listen to them this time.
Damn. You two.
They should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
His eyes are
Hey, Esteban. Isn't that you?
What a coincidence. You two, based on...
It certainly looks like my jacket, Ulexus. Where did you get that, gendarme? Confiscated? Nix is probably going to say it was civil asset forfeiture. See, Uli?
Those committed to the rights of property.
I assumed it was...
There is surprise in his voice, naturally. But is that a note of excitement you also detect?
You're right. It's better. Can you imagine the look on Morris's face when he finds out the...
He'll shit himself.
And now they've shown up in force to break up our meeting.
Something tells me these young men are not very experienced.
The RCM wants...
My partner.
Interesting.
Uh-oh. No one said anything about reading. You'll just have to wing this one.
You have? Excellent. Let's hear your critique then. Too many... words?
It doesn't sound like they've done the reading, Esteban.
Well, this is getting hot.
There's profound consternation.
Maybe they can explain themselves.
In the most generous sense, I would say we're cultivating revolutionary consciousness.
Yes, that's probably...
But more specifically, we're running a
Comrade Step...
It's obvious, Dion. Can you imagine anything duller than a bunch of binoclards yanking each other's knobs?
It's nothing like that. A yank fist is a decadent bourgeois phenomenon. A pastime for overeducated office workers who lack proper revolutionary outlets for their social dissatisfactions and repressed sexuality.
Repressed sexualities are something of an idée fixe of his.
One of capitalism's more banal pathologies. But let's move on.
Huh. As though you can call that problem teaching.
One thing you learn quickly at university is that you're not going to find a real education in any lecture hall or discussion seminar.
We are post-attendance, basically.
Exactly. The only worthwhile part of the so-called École Normale de Revachol is the library. That's where we've made our greatest critical strides.
They are not primary school delinquents, they are university students. Attendance isn't compulsory. Besides, we are not the skip squad.
The Counter-Truancy Task Force, or SKIP Squad, is the division of the RCM that drives around in wagons looking for delinquent minors. It's generally considered a punitive assignment for underperforming officers.
We study all the foundational texts of Mazur,
Truly extra.
and before that,
For some... Uh-oh. You can feel your attention span rapidly deteriorating.
we've also read Wertmüller's The Megastructure of History, and before that, Real and Reality.
Communist theorists love puns, in case that wasn't obvious.
Hablars une paix infernale.
The original Fisdale translation, not that watered-down revisionist garbage.
These two deserve the Order of Honor for bullshitting. There's no way they've actually read all this stuff.
Obviously.
But, of course, our special emphasis is on the theories of Ignace Nilsson and his followers, especially the inframaterialists.
One of Krasmazov's closest associates, Ingus Nilsson, was a leading political and military figure in the anti-centennial revolution. Why do you always leave out the good parts? Tell him... Oh, right. Today, Nilsson's reputation has waned in most parts of the developed world. The young man raises his fist in reply and gives you a curt nod.
He also happens to be the greatest communist theorist after Mazov himself. It was Nielsen who first postulated the existence of
Those words again. You've got to find out what this inframaterialist stuff is all about. Whatever it is, one thing's perfectly clear. You could learn the young man's size. His companion looks about furtively.
In a most
Yes, that's...
but more specific.
Comrade
It's obvious. Can you imagine anything duller than a bunch of binoclars yanking each other's knobs?
It's really nothing like that.
That doesn't sound so bad. In any case, it's healthier than certain...
Go ahead. In a most...
Yes,
but more specific.
Comrade
It's obvious. Can you imagine anything duller than a bunch of binoclars yanking each...
That's our whole thing. The world is so shallow, all noise and repetition. We're interested in genuinely radical critique.
Precisely. We are not interested in senseless parroting. We like to...
Within the contours of Mazovian historical materialism, of course. Go ahead. Clinching.
We think of ourselves as more of an intellectual vanguard.
To be clear,
Seems
Comrade Ulik.
or even...
What are...
In any case.
Though
Good point.
Are they be... It's always that way. Beneath the crust of irony, there's a molten sincerity that threatens...
No, we're...
He speaks the truth.
That's easy.
Deliver...
It's a sim...
His companion can barely suppress a yawn.
No, unfortunately.
His companion, he's practically...
Yes. Can I hold it? It's heavier.
The attitude, when he's finished, he returns the rifle to you with a...
What do you mean? This is the reading. We're in something of a rebuild.
some of our former comrades didn't have...
Intellectual...
Imagine the audacity of wanting to read a novel in a reading group.
We've tried recruiting new members, but unfortunately the current intellectual class...
Don't forget
Right. They're the most...
a gang.
It's okay for Uli to say that, because his dad is from Gottwald. The Gottwald school...
In other words,
That's why they spend all their time smoking cigarettes and writing long works. If it were, they wouldn't keep committing suicide. You see, the Gottwald school... They're... all the problems in the world.
no, 1000%.
I can tell you're a man who has his urges. You see, the Gottwald school look like... For starters, they love talking about beans. That's right. Iconoclasts are obsessed with beans. They love...
Nota bene.
They're by far the most bean-centric school of communism.
Ah yes, the much maligned bean counters, ensconced in their think tank.
If only.
And next thing you know... You see, iconoclasts, for starters, they love talking about beans. You're no iconoclast then. They're obsessed.
Nota bene. Iconoclast is an extra pejorative form of the
Can't
already
stand this
pejorative
stuff.
name, Mazovian economists.
They're by far the most...
Ah yes, the much maligned bean counters, ensconced in their think tanks and high-rises.
See? You're already falling for that scarcity logic. You start off assuming there aren't enough beans to go around. And next thing you see, iconoclasts claim to be... For starters, they love talking... Oh sure.
Nota bene, iconoclast is an extra pejorative form of the already...
They're by far...
Ah yes, the much maligned bean counter.
Oh, please. There's nothing moderate about their love for counting beans. You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists. But in reality, they're just liberals with heart. Of course not.
Basically indistinguishable from fascists.
Cindy...
Something of an...
Yes.
But she...
That doesn't stop her from using a room for studio.
He studied...
Wow.
Right.
It was unbelievable.
Basically,
What is this inframaterialist?
simply that...
Susanna's...
For us, the question boiled down to... If you don't even accept the basic ideas of Nielsen, an inframaterialist theory, well, it wasn't so much that he was expelled.
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
Go ahead.
The young man,
Nothing.
their watch is almost with predictable results.
We typically only accept new members once per... But given that we have some extra seating at the moment...
Steban, you...
I am serious. Assuming he's even still interested, that is. Sure.
Sleep well.
The gendarme returns. What do you need? Yeah, it's hers. She just sort of moved it all in a few months ago.
She said if she's going to make truly radical art, she needs a suitably radical workspace.
And I don't think she could afford rent at an actual studio. Oh, sure. It's definitely interesting, I would say.
Interesting? Isn't that just binoclad for I don't have a real opinion? His companion's eyes widen with interest. If this is what the Union man meant by theory combat, you've just scored a decisive blow.
Come on. It's not that I don't have anything to say about Cindy's art. It's more that I'm still working out the details. It's a complex question. You've got to take your time with it.
You flustered the poor boy. Now he's got to say something.
I guess you could call her latest stuff a sort of counter-bourgeoisie calligraphy. She's got a real taste for radical slogans.
It's too bad she hasn't developed the theoretical foundation to do truly radical work.
I think she'll get there, though. She's still looking for a subject equal to her ambitions. The deal, at a fundamental level, I guess you could call it the shattered bones of a dream crushed by capital.
That's really good, Steban. You should save that for an essay.
Thanks, Uli. When the idea is sound, the words just sort of flow.
Yes, now keep developing the idea.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not as good as Steban's original idea, though.
The deal, at a fundamental level...
That's really good.
Thanks, Uli.
Yes, now keep developing the idea.
That could be. It would explain some of the more ornate detailing. But we're speaking in world historical terms here. What this place represents, not what it merely was.
His friend yawns. evidently bored by literal reality.
Go ahead. The gendarme returns. What do you need?
What's there to be scared of? You've really been cracking the books these last few days. You can go toe to intellectual toe with any reading group in Martinez. You've spent a not inconsiderable amount of time arranging the works in your mental library by theme and period. All the ideas and references you'll need are ready at hand. Now, chin up. You've got this.
Trying to think if there's anything I haven't read. All it was the Dick book. Dick Mall, and I think that's all I haven't read.
Oh, you want to start now? Sure, we can manage that.
You've caught him off balance. The momentum is already in your favor.
Go ahead and take a seat. Since we haven't had time to prepare an exhaustive questionnaire, I think we can keep this interview more freeform. Why don't you tell us a bit about the books you're interested in, and we'll just see where the conversation goes. Absolutely. It's the only proper foundation to develop a real understanding of events.
Oh wow, they really did want you to read. The only book I didn't read was Dick Mullen.
Don't think I'm familiar with it. Give us a quick summary, if you don't mind.
This is a good start. They're starting to loosen up. You feel relaxed and in control. You quickly gloss Lopez de Fuego's essential argument, peppering it with your own commentary and asides. Like a river emptying into the sea, the discussion winds its way toward the character of the innocents hurt.
But then, any critical account of Dolores Day's reign has to seriously reckon with her atrocities in Margretania and La Vuelta during the Mesque secession, don't you think?
I can't believe there's not a communist book. Also, I didn't read the medicine book.
Total nonsense. The greatest thing Dolores Day ever did was get blasted by her own Terrier.
If he wants a real critical history, he's got to read on the material conditions of the...
He's so good. Brutally.
These kids are eating out of your hand, practically. Another quarter of an hour disappears. The questions come rapid fire, but you have an answer for every one. Now you can sense things starting to slow down. The interview must be reaching an inflection point.
But to Comrade Ulix's point, isn't there value in reading really difficult books, just for the sheer challenge of it? Oh, right. 16 days of coldest, whatever. What was your take on it?
This is so fucking cool. Like, the books that you read actually matter.
Now's your chance to end this interview on a high note. you ably summarize the novel's characters and themes. Even better, you're able to connect those themes to your critique of the novel's formal qualities, such as they are.
It's no wonder you couldn't finish it. Sounds like turgid bourgeois social realism. And Gradian realism is the worst realism. It's nearly as bad as Gottwaldian critical theory.
Makes you want to gouge your eyes out. Or better, gouge the author's eyes out.
In any case, I think we've heard enough. We could use someone with your perspective in the group. With just a bit more theoretical foundation, I think you'll be making real contributions.
Yes, I would say he's got serious potential at least.
And with that, welcome to the most ideologically advanced materialist reading group in Martinez. Here's your first assignment. It's an overview of inframaterialist theory. A little basic, as you'll see, but one has to start somewhere. You're going to fit right in, I think. Come back when you're done. We'll be here pretty much every night after 10 p.m. Do be sure to take your time with the reading. We'll be eager to hear your thoughts.
The cover of this pocket-sized volume features a swirl of orange, yellow, and green. The title, A Brief Look at Inframaterialism, is set in an authoritative yet approachable serif font. What an interesting color palette. It's vibrant, yet somehow leaves you ever so slightly nauseated. On the inside jacket flap, you find a brief summary. What is inframaterialism? A highly theoretical branch of Masovian communism? A collection of mystical ramblings by a discredited revolutionary? Or possibly both? This brief look, TM, introduces readers to one of this century's most fascinating and misunderstood theories in a concise, jargon-free manner. You turn to the table of contents. The guide itself is divided into several sections with seemingly esoteric titles like Effects of Plasm on Root Vegetables and known to his numerous admirers as during his he is your brother. And yet, his most fascinating contribution to history may be the most overlooked. His theory of ideological plasm, from which his followers and successors developed the school of communism known as inframaterialism. If you're like most people, you probably believe that your thoughts reside in your brain. That's not right at all. Thoughts don't exist in the brain. They float through the air. Your brain is but a fish swimming through them. Very interesting, and not so far removed from as Mazov's devoted comrade and leading theoretician. Nielsen was responsible for developing much of the intellectual foundation of communism. But during his final years in exile, he produced, among other things, an early guide to home brewing, instructions for raising revolutionary children, plans for a universal pictographic language, and a detailed materialist critique of Dolores Day's chess strategy. A true man of ideas. But one subject he returned to time and time again was the fundamental relationship between thoughts and matter. We may yet discover, he wrote in his notebooks, that under certain exceptional circumstances, the proletariat's embrace of historical materialism may be so fervent that their beliefs take form in the world of matter as a kind of revolutionary plasm. Certainly, in essence, Nielsen is arguing that thoughts don't just reside inside the brain, they radiate outward from it. According to this idea, the brain is an ideological transponder, constantly emitting waves of highly politicized energy, which Nielsen called plasm. Woe is right. What's more, Nielsen speculated that this plasm, when it becomes powerful enough, might begin to influence the material reality surrounding it. Hence the name. Unfortunately, Nielsen passed away before he was able to develop these initial ideas into a full-fledged theory. That work was left to subsequent generations of communist theorists. Building on Nielsen's basic insight, these theorists reached a startling conclusion that a sufficiently revolutionary state might begin to exhibit correct, though certain particulars of the theory are commonly attributed to Nielsen himself. The evidentiary basis of those attributions has always been a point of contention between inframaterialists and their critics. In fact, many of inframaterialism's critics, both inside and outside the communist movement, have said the same thing. That's because this is absolute idiocy, not even worth engaging with. No. There's something here. You can feel it. Inframaterialists divide the extraphysical effects of the revolutionary state at the lowest, or first level. Revolutionary plasm is believed to stimulate or invigorate matter without altering its essence precisely, though plasm does more than increase vegetable yields. It may also influence the physiology of revolutionaries. It's also been postulated that plasm may account for the remarkably full and manly facial hair observed on some communist males. Your hand feels clammy against your bare chin. You wipe it along the back of the book and keep reading. Of course, inframaterialists argue that revolutionary plasm may stimulate human physiology in other ways as well. Oh yeah, we're talking about white-hot communist sex, baby. That's correct. Reports from the revolutionary period claim that the most radically devoted communards were able to engage in vigorous intercourse for up to 8 hours at a time. 8 hours? There's no way. Your equipment would be mashed to jelly. No wonder the communards couldn't shoot straight. They were too shagged out. Hyper-productive vegetables and ultra-horny communards are fine. But This theory hasn't quite gotten strange enough for you. Sexual euphoria, increased sensitivity to stimulation. If you didn't know better, you'd say this plasm stuff sounds a lot like being on amphetamine. And on that note, you feel like you've gotten the general idea of inframaterialism, enough to carry on a basic conversation at least. Of course you want to go deeper. What else are you here for? The book fits quite snugly into your palm. It would also fit comfortably into a jacket pocket. You flip forward a few pages until you come upon a chapter titled Mental Projection and Transference. When a community has achieved a sufficiently high degree of revolutionary fervor, inframaterialists believe that second-level effects may be observed. At this second level, certain hyper-revolutionary individuals may even develop the ability to extend their thoughts into material space and vice versa. According to inframaterialist theory, yes. Under suitably of course, one doesn't need to be a communist to be attuned to the thoughts. It's become something of a folk legend that during their final meeting, Nielsen and Mazov didn't speak a single word, preferring to sit in silence with their chamomile tea, reading. One of the minor tragedies of the late revolutionary period is that few reliable accounts survive. Much of what we know of the communards' activities during this period come from memoirs and second-hand accounts, some only written down decades after the fact, and of dubious authenticity.
I suppose we do work quite well together.
Your words hang in the air as the lieutenant scribbles something in his notebook. At some point, he realizes you're waiting for him and looks up with a tightly knit brow. The lieutenant looks at you evenly for a moment, then returns to his notebook without a word.
Did I? My bad, detective. Won't happen again.
As we were saying, it's generally believed.
I suppose we do.
Your words hang in the air.
It's true that you and I do share a similar addiction, but that's hardly remarkable among officers of the RCM.
As we were saying, it's generally believed that these effects are only exhibited by certain hyper-revolutionaries because plasm has never been directly observed. In other words, there's no evidence that any of the... Why are you getting hung up on mechanisms? Open your mind's apps. You know what else lets you feel like you can read minds? Spooky old. Most inframaterialists would argue that the inability of skeptics to detect plasm is simply evidence of their own innocence. There you have it, a perfectly unfalsifiable loop. The theory is impossible to meaning it's hardly a theory. This should be more than enough for a stimulating discussion. You must. Everyone knows books save their best parts for the end. You breeze through the next several sections until you arrive at the final chapter, titled A Communism Above Reality. When a society's revolutionary fervor reaches the third and highest level, inframaterialist theoreticians have postulated that the laws of physics cease to be laws. Say it. You know you want to. Under suitably revolutionary conditions, you might be. Though inframaterialists would argue that it's more like the community is, collectively, the law. At last, a book gives you the respect and validation you're entitled to. Of course, it's impossible to say what exactly happens under these conditions. No known society has ever achieved the levels of revolutionary enthusiasm the theory seems to require. Some inframaterialists have even argued that it might require more plasm than humanity alone may be capable of producing. In the SRV, there have been attempts to organize certain species of aquatic mammals, as well as a few of the higher corvids. But, as of this writing, only human beings have demonstrated the intellectual capacity for revolutionary communism. There are numerous stories from Samara involving bandits or fascist mercenaries being levitated by farmers from the most ideologically advanced communes. Of course, few of these incidents have ever been rigorously investigated or substantiated. The form of these stories also recalls several well-known Samoran folk tales, in particular the one commonly known as Clever Oleg and the Flying Magistrate. Among known attempts to channel third-level capabilities, the most well-documented is the curious case of Coalition warship Debutante. It concerns an interesting series of events that took place during the invasion of Revachol. As Coalition forces made landfall, a cadre of Nielsen's most fervent acolytes attempted to compress a Coalition-era static with their collective will. According to Communard law, these acolytes positioned themselves at the top of a redoubt just over the bay of Revachol. From that vantage, they proceeded to visualize pinching Coalition warship depth. The Communards were notoriously under-equipped against the much better-funded Coalition. In any event, the acolytes, along with the redoubt, were vaporized in an artillery strike. Picture the lot of them, all standing with their fingers in the air 1 minute. The next, it's been said, though, that in the weeks following the battle, the captain of the Debutante noted of course, colorful anecdotes only scratch the surface of what inframaterialists believe. Some have theorized that such a society would be fundamentally unrecognizable, lacking many of the institutions we typically take. Others have argued that people living under third-level conditions will be immune to such infirmity. In some of his later writings, Nielsen himself speculated about the potential for an extra-physical architecture that disregard precisely. Nielsen observed that the financial system operates on the same principle of faith. So on the following page, you come across a few black and white reproductions from Nielsen's own notebooks. One sketch depicts a government ministry shaped like a great inverted pyramid, a hectare in width at the top, balanced atop foundation. Another depicts a leaning tower wrapped in a dramatic helix. The caption beneath it reads, "The tower, something about that tower looks awfully familiar." Could it be that's what the students were trying to recreate with the matchboxes? In the corner of one of the reproduced notebook pages, you can make out the following words, written in Nielsen's has forfeited the right to exist. There is no more. You've reached the outer theoretical limits of communism, and in less than 200 pages. If you'd like to read further, may we recommend a brief look at Occidental architecture? You breeze when say it. You know you want. More like suggestion. Of course, it's impossible to say what exactly happens under these conditions. Some inframaterialists have even argued that it might require in the essence, but as of this writing, there are the form of these among known attempts to channel third-level capability. It concerns that, according to Communard law, the acolytes, along with the redoubt, were vaporized in an artillery strike. Picture the lot of them. It's been said, of course, colorful anecdotes. Others have in some of his later writings. Nielsen called it the highest expression of communist principle. On the following page, another depicts something about that tower looks awfully familiar. Could it? That's all right, because you've reached the end of the book. If you'd like to try something different, may we recommend a brief look at Gradian literature? You flip for when at this second level, certain according, of course, it's become something of a folk legend that one of the much of what we know of the Communard's activities during this period.
I suppose we...
Your word,
Did I?
as we were saying, it's generally believed that these effects are only exhibited because plasma. In other words, why? Psst. You know what else lets you most inform? There you meaning. This should you must. Everyone knows. Books save their best.
You're back.
See if they're doing something different, then do it all in one time. Yep.
Hello again, officers. Have you come?
The paintbrush in your hand is like a loaded revolver. What will it be, Desperado? Quite a few things come to mind. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
There was a revitalization project in 49. A design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick. They got as far as the street lamps and that statue on the intersection before something went sour. I suspect it was Erascle's doing. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here. We should have done something about the Union 10 years ago. That ship has sailed, officer.
Your money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk, the ring of metal. The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry, different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab grey shape, like a ghost. The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible, a half-sunken sea fort, its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower, a lonely birch tree, its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind. The little brave birch tree seems to wave back in the wind. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out. It's getting cold, this late in the night. Time to call it a day.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
You see that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody? What? Kim? No, it's you. You and the seagull are just alike. Think about the seagull's story. It's one of endurance and adaptation. The seaside was paradise once. They were birds of that. Then their paradise became no time for that sentimental bullshit. They're hustlers, getting shit done. They're one pair of track pants away from gangsters, just like you. You have. The body remembers. Sure, inside. But outside, it's a tough world. You've got to do whatever it takes to survive. Good boy. Own it. Steal hot dogs. Shit in the sand. Whatever it takes to keep going. It's getting cold.
Good night, officer.
It's getting cold. This late in the night.
Good night, officer.
You see that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody? You think about the seagull's story. Then their paradise became shit. No time for that sentimental bullshit. They're hustlers, getting shit done. They're one pair of track pants away from gangsta. Sure. Inside. Good boy. Exactly.
Hey, where the fuck do I have to go to fucking throw shit at the seagull, bro? Disco Elysium, where do I have to go to initiate shitstorm? Didn't work. Land's End. Where exactly is that? Is it the same spot where you get the bubble to talk about how you relate to the seagull? I want to try to look in. Sending it triggered. AI. So. There it is.
There, on the ice. Target practice.
I want to try to do it with Kim.
Precisely. No, don't throw anything at the bird. The bird will get hurt. It's a seagull. Come on, do it. No, it will be okay. From a purely physical point of view. These birds are used to worse things than bits. Particles of soil, grass, and tiny... Told you we need to practice. What if this was a combat situation? We wouldn't be talking anymore.
Yeah, let's try it with Kim and see if it's possible. Absolute shitstorm. This is an absolute shitstorm. Folks. So this is the spot. You can hear it. Alright, let's try it. Now you really cannot have Kim with you. Trust me. You can't have him. But the AI was gonna go wrong. No. The AI was correct. Can't have Kim. If you have Kim, you can't throw shit at a bird.
There's nothing else.
Alright. Put the children to bed and go. Let's put the women and children to bed and go hunting for fucking dinner. Nobody will ever watch this, so it doesn't even matter.
It's getting cold.
Good night, officer.
I have so much fucking speed. And I have like super speed. St. Baptiste speed. Doing drugs in front of a bird.
There, on the ice. Target practice. Precisely. No obstructions, just the seagull. Pick up some dirt and throw it at the bird. Come on, hurry up. No, don't throw anything at the bird. The bird will get hurt. It's a seagull. They're practically immortal. And the only thing you'll be throwing is some dirt. It's guaranteed no one will get hurt.
I'm so sorry. No one's gonna watch this anyway, so who fucking cares? I wanted to do the fucking introspective seagull thing first, because I'm wondering if I do that, if that'll trigger any dialogue of like... I'm saying, like, when I throw the dirt at the seagull, if I'll trigger any dialogue of them saying, like, you are the seagull. How could you throw dirt at yourself?
You see that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody? Exactly. Think about the seagull's story. It's one of endurance and adaptation. The seaside was paradise once. They were then their paradise became Shit city. And what did they do? They became urban survivors, eating burgers out of trash cans, killing and eating pigeon. No time for that sentimental bullshit. They're hustlers, getting shit done. You have. The body remembers. Sure, inside. But outside, it's a tough world. You've got to do whatever it takes to survive. And you do. Question is, will you admit that to yourself? Good boy. Own it. Steal hot dogs. Shit in the sand. Whatever it takes to keep going. It's getting cold, this late in the night.
Good night, officer.
Oh my god, it's not triggering. There we go.
There, on the ice. Target practice. Target practice for improving your aim. Some of us have been wondering when you'll get around to that. Precisely. No obstructions, just the seagull. Pick up some dirt and throw it at the bird. Come on, hurry up. No, don't throw anything at the bird. The bird will get hurt. It's a seagull. They're practically immortal. And the only thing you'll be throwing is some dirt. It's guaranteed no one will get hurt. Come on, do it. Don't be such a pussy. It'll be fun. Especially while the lieutenant is gone. No, it won't be fun. It'll be annoying. You'll be annoying. It will be okay. From a purely physical point of view. These birds are used to worse things than bits of flying soil. And you'll miss. Particles of soil, grass, and tiny rocks fly in a wide arc over the seagull's head. The bird doesn't even bat an eye. Told you we need to practice. What if this was a combat situation? We wouldn't be talking anymore. Try again. A clump of soil seems to graze the bird's wing, but the gull just fluffs its feathers and turns another side. It really doesn't seem to care. Fuck off, you bipedal rodent. Whispers its psionic eye. Better, but practice makes perfect. One more time. Right into the sea bull's eye. Oh no.
Got him. Bango. We just got shit on. So worth it. Save the... Total shitstorm. That was one of the most insane moments in the game. Total shitstorm. He's got completely shit on. Got it.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle. It's getting The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, the place feels almost like home now, quiet and dignified around you. A new life by the seaside. You're incredibly tired. The darkness and warmth come fast. You're falling asleep.
It's easier this time. Drifting off, your head has found a comfortable indent in the pillow. Your legs and your torso feel like lead weights sinking to the bottom of the sea.
This respite. You've earned it, brother. Bask in the darkness. Let it swallow you up and swivel you around while you forget everything you've managed to remember. No, you haven't. You've just been. No, this is the one before that. We'll just keep cycling it for you if you don't mind. As long as we can. Spin it like black yarn.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
You're welcome, Harry boy. You earned it.
After centuries of darkness, the alarm rings. But what's this? You actually feel rested. There's no time to cuddle with your pillow, however, or as much as shiver from the cold. The world awaits.
Go.